kind of late. I don't know. So I have these moments where I am so productive in my business and I'm doing this, this, and this in an orderly fashion, and then all of a sudden it hits like something's just about to crash. Then I start scrolling like a madman, and then I stop waking up earlier, and then I go into this habit of like sparkling downhill, and it's just not good overall. I stop being active for once, and I'm just in my bed on TikTok or on Instagram, but instead of being a content creator, I am a consumer, and that is something that you don't want to fall for. And everything in the day just feels like a drag, and it's absolutely the worst. And I'm sure I'm not the only person. You've probably felt like this too. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. I am your soft girl entrepreneur and your YouTube girly talking all things beauty and business. As a new YouTuber, I am going to try to be consistent for you, where I'm going to be trying to post a video every Sunday, because my title is Small Talk Sundays. And what I want my channel to grow into is to give you insight of what my journey is like as a small business owner. That I've been running for 3 years, and I want to share some tips and tricks with you of how you can do your business and how you can be in the right mindset as well. And today I want to create a positive morning for you, where I personally am going to start drinking my coffee right away because I love coffee. But I want to share with you what a ideal morning looks like and how you can also achieve that ideal morning. But first, let's go get my morning coffee. Okay, so for this video, I'm going to start looking at the camera here, but I'm going to show you some visuals of what the ideal morning routine looks like, and I want to go through a list of the things that would help you. Everyone's is going to be different, not everyone's going to be the same, so these are just a few examples that I want to share with you. So for your ideal morning routine, you want to see how much energy does it take for you to create these habits. And the first thing I want to go through is the effortless morning, where it's brushing your teeth, drinking 1 glass of water, showering, washing your face, washing your lashes, getting dressed, making your bed, feeding your pet, or drinking coffee and tea in the morning. So for low to high energy, it's waking up early, stretching, going to the gym, meditating, reading a book, journaling, making breakfast, taking care of your skin, and taking supplements or vitamins. And I have another list of organizing your room, creating daily affirmations, taking cold showers, making your lunch, doing your makeup routine, or watering your plants. Here I listed a few things of like your work productivity. So it could be like, especially if you're in the social media content side, it's emailing, social media content, planning, Instagram posts, stories, Pinterest, YouTube, filming, and scripting. So I want to show you example 1 from me working at home. So this is me writing down what my actual day looks like when I'm working from home versus me going to the studio. But it is just an example. I do fall into this a lot, but I try my best to have a better routine. And you know, sometimes it's okay to fall back. So I start using Focus on my Apple iPhone, where it sets an alarm for me to go to bed at a certain time and for me to wake up. And my ideal time to wake up is around 6:30, hopefully. But from 6:30 to 12, you want to see what your morning looks like. So here, I just want to go through. My alarm starts at 6:30, and then I'm still sleeping. I'm sleeping because some days I am just not ready to wake up. And then finally around 9:30, I'm just gonna give or take, I start waking up, and then I start getting my day, and I start getting ready, doing the effortless things in the morning, which is brushing my teeth, combing my hair, maybe taking a shower, drinking my coffee, and then watching a YouTube and morning chores. I like to do chores in the morning, but it depends what kind of chores. If I'm like putting away the dishes, that's effortless to me, but if I'm cleaning the dishes, that's a lot of effort for me. And then I start going to the gym, and then I usually do about like an hour. I try not to go over an hour because I try to do 5 days a week, and then I start to go shower, and then by 12 o'clock I'm actually getting a little bit hungrier, so I'm gonna make a meal for myself, and then I start working in the afternoon. But that is me working from home, and it is something I fall into the pattern a lot because I'm always in the mindset in the morning like, oh, I don't have to get up this morning. But like, I feel like I waste my day when it starts to hit 12 o'clock and I've only just gone to the gym. So from working from home, you want to write down what your ideal time it is to wake up and what you want to do during those times to be more productive. So I want to break it down and see what it actually looks like in some of my good days and what this is actually what my ideal day is. It's waking up in the morning, putting on my gym clothes, brushing my teeth, being at the gym, stretching and weight training right in the morning, and then working out. And then by the time I'm done working out, because my gym is actually just downstairs, I don't have to go too far. I finish my workout, I take a cold shower, and then I start having tea or water and getting ready for the day, and that's gonna be done by 8:30. So my other half, starting at 9, it's checking my emails, creating social media content, watching one YouTube about my social media updates, which I really love to do in the morning. And I have a few YouTubers in mind that I really like to, especially like Modern Millie. She's really great at adding value to her content and giving me updates of what to do with Instagram or anything in the social media world. Journaling, planning my week, and writing daily affirmations. And then when it comes to my work, I do a little bit of email marketing. I do that maybe once a week through my business. I work on my Instagram or my Pinterest. And then sometimes I would go work on my SEO, which is my website updates, my other emails, ads, etc. And then break time, which is me eating my favorite meals in the morning, which is brunch. So this is my morning routine working from home, and I absolutely love it versus my realistic view. You can see if you look at side by side, it's my reality versus my ideal. My reality is consumed with sleeping. You want to see like what's holding me back from reaching my goals. It's obviously sleeping in. And then if I stop sleeping in and start to create and start to fix that, I'll start having my life as more of an ideal morning routine. Sleeping has consumed most of my morning from 6:30 to about like 9:30, probably 10 to be realistic. But if I kind of just fix that and wake up a lot earlier, I will wake up by 6:30 and get to the gym by 7. So I have a 30-minute gap to actually get my brain to start working. And then from there, everything else comes easy to me a little bit. But you want to kind of question yourself, like what's holding you back from reaching your goals if it's not the same, or how am I going to change my behavior and how to improve my behavior. So I want to recap on achieving your morning routine, which is creating the steps to creating your ideal morning, which is writing down your realistic morning routine, and then writing down your ideal morning routine, and then taking out what's consuming most of your time and replacing it with the ideal routine one step at a time. I'm gonna emphasize on some key highlights here, which is taking it one step at a time. If you are not taking it one step at a time, and for you to change a lot of things from one day to another, that's gonna drain you like emotionally and mentally for a while. So if you take your realistic and you're gonna drastically change it to your ideal, you're not gonna see the results that you're willing to improve on for months. You're actually just gonna do that, yeah, maybe like a day or two, or maybe even a week, but I guarantee you it's gonna hit you like a fan the next week. Just because your body is not used to it, and you wanna just take one thing at a time. If sleeping is consuming, you have to learn how to fix it before you can move on, before you can start being more productive in your work, before you start eating better in your habits. And another keynote is staying consistent. Staying consistent really helps when you are trying to change something in your life and then trying to make it more of a positive environment for you. When you stay consistent on an ideal morning routine and you do it, I think there was a book that came out and it was like you can do it for like 21 days and then it'll start becoming just an effortless habit for you. And then that's when I recommend moving on to another thing to add into your lifestyle that you want to change. And then with staying consistent, you also have to stay disciplined. And I know staying disciplined for me gets a little hard because I go through this thing every time in the month where I am at my highest point and I am like the happiest girl in the world, and then I start to crash down. And I know some will relate to this issue and some won't, but for all the girls who go through what I go through, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And when that time happens, it's okay to just restart if you need to. And when I mean restarting, you can just slow down. You can take it one step at a time. If you're not in the mood, it's totally okay. You don't have to follow your ideal morning routine. You don't have to be obsessed over it. You just have to find a good balance of when you have a good energy of trying to be positive most of the day in the years versus you being negative. And then I want to go through example 2, which is me going through the studio half of the day when it's in the morning. So again, I want to go through my realistic, my ideal, what happens at 6:30 until break time, which is 12. So starting by 6:30, even though my alarm clock goes on, I'm still sleeping at 6:30, and then I start to wake up. I know 7:45 is around the time that I get up sometimes, but around 8:30 is when I start getting ready for work. And then my travel time, because it takes about 45 minutes to go to the studio, I try my best to read a book or listen to a podcast, so I'm not super unproductive. And then by the time I get to work, it's around 9:30, and I always try to give myself 30 minutes before my client comes, so I'm able to get ready and then do my work as fast as I can. And then with my client work, max it takes me about 2 hours to do my servicing, and sometimes it could be less. And if it's less, then that's when I take a break and I kind of just sit on the chair and kind of just vegetate for a little bit, maybe go out and grab something to eat. And then if I really want to have a great morning routine, I have to wake up at 6:30 and then get ready for the gyms, because the gym only takes me about an hour. So if I get there at 7 and then I go and finish it by 8, I can go take a shower, do the same thing, have enough travel time, maybe eat breakfast if I'm fast enough, just maybe grab some egg or make some eggs in the morning. And then at 9:30 I start arriving at the studio, and then my client comes at 10, and then it depends on there when I finish, and usually again it takes me about 2 hours, and then I go on my break and go vegetate. Here you can see my realistic and an ideal point of view. Again, sleeping consumes most of my morning. And how am I going to change that? So look at what you can control throughout the morning versus saying you have no time. And sleeping is something that you can't control. Don't forget that. You can still have a good 8 hours of sleep as long as you're able to sleep at a certain amount of time. And if I want to go to the gym right at 7 or even a little bit early, I have to adjust my alarm clock to 6 o'clock, because for me personally, it still takes about 30 minutes for me to actually just wake up. I know what I've been talking about today is about energy, and I want to highlight on what I mean by energy. And for example 1 and for example 2, so these were my ideal routines from earlier, from working from home and then studio and going through the studio. Your low energy is going to be something that's effortless. Your low to high energy could also be effortless some days, and then sometimes it could be really hard for you. And then high energy is just something that's really hard for you to work on, and you want to change it, hopefully. So we'll look at example 1. So this was the one where I was working from home. And then for me, waking up in the morning takes a lot of effort, and putting on my gym clothes and brushing my teeth. But sometimes it might not be the same for you. It could be totally different from me. So you want to kind of just highlight what's high to low energy and what's effortless. Here it's going to be at the gym, stretch, weight train. So that's going to be low to high effort, depends in the morning. And then when I'm finished my workout, that is my most effortless, because I'm like, whew, I'm done. And then having my coffee, tea or water, and getting ready for the day. Sometimes checking my emails and then starting my work, it kind of adds a low to high energy, because sometimes I don't want to do it and sometimes I do want to do it. I think you can relate, especially if it's like a Monday. I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to do it. But then when it's a Friday, I'm like, I kind of want to do it, but then it's the weekend, but I want to enjoy myself right now. And then watching a YouTube video about social media updates. There's one thing about watching videos is that there's a difference between you actually consuming the content versus you actually just having it in the background. A good chunk of the time I like it having it in the background and distracting myself doing other things, but if I want to listen to actual information, I need to like kind of stay focused in. And then I like journaling and then planning my week and writing my daily affirmation. That to me is effortless because it makes me happy when I think about that. And then me working on my small business, which is Instagram stories, Instagram posts, carousels, videos, reels, whatever it could be. It could be low to high energy. Sometimes you just have to put in a little bit more effort, and some days you don't. That's why scheduling is such a big part of social media content, because it kind of takes away from doing it like on the spot, and then you can do it a little bit later, and then like having more of a structured mindset. And then my work, if I'm email marketing or working on my IG and Pinterest, again, that's to me is low to high energy. And then the biggest thing that is kind of hard for me sometimes is working on my SEOs and then doing website updates and then going through my emails or creating an ad, because it takes a lot of energy from me, because it's something I'm just not used to on a daily basis. I do it like every couple of weeks and I go through what I'm missing, but it can be really frustrating as a small business because no one's telling you how to do these things and you kind of just have to figure it out on your own. And my break time, which I love making my brunches in the morning, which I can do smoothies, eggs, it could be avocado, toast, whatever I want to eat when I'm home, because I feel like I am being frugal and spending less money and learning to make my favorite foods. And then when you're looking at your ideal routines, you want to kind of ask yourself on a personal level. You can even write this down and then answer it yourself. It's, what if I fail to achieve my weekly goals? Or what's the best way for me to be on track? How will you bring your high energy to a low energy effort? How can I discipline myself to be consistent? So these are the things that I would personally write it down and then kind of go through a checklist. You can get ideas from Pinterest. You can use ChatGPT if you like. They have, I think people also have great opinions on YouTube if you kind of search up how to be disciplined, how to stay consistent. So this one's gonna look a little bit different because it's my second ideal routine and it's me going into work. And as a highlight, if you look at my ideal routine from working from home, and you can see what's highlighted here that are high energy, which is, for example, waking up in the morning, putting my gym clothes on, and then brushing my teeth and then getting out there for the next 30 minutes. And when it's high energy, you want to kind of go through these questions and try to eliminate it from being such a high energy to making it a low to high effort energy, and then maybe effortless one day. And if you work on this one thing, which is like, for example, like waking up in the morning, and you do it consistently for 21 days or a month or two, that's when I recommend going to your second high energy throughout the day of like what's really triggering and how am I going to tackle that. For me, I run a small business. If you don't know my small business yet, I've been running it for 3 years. I'm a beauty entrepreneur doing lash education, lash extensions. Specifically, I do lash lift and brow lamination as well, and also lip blush tattoo on the side. So for me to go to my work and to have created this business, I actually really enjoy it. And for some of you, some people may not enjoy their work, but this is just an example of like what my ideal routine looks like and how you can have low effortless energy throughout the day and keeping you and making you have like a peace of mind. So you're gonna see a lot of low energy throughout this example. It's gonna be a little bit more effortless, which is nice because by the time I'm finished, that's when my low energy starts to hit. And I don't have to do much, but I just have to get ready, and then I have time to go take a shower, maybe eat your breakfast. And then during my travel time, because I take transit, I don't have to think much on the road, and then it's super automatic for me where I can just listen on my phone, where I can pull up a podcast or pull up a YouTube because we all have data now. And then when I see my clients, a good chunk of them are from my referrals, so if they've seen me for a while, it becomes super effortless because half the time they're just napping or we're just talking shit. And that's why I really love my work. And I love my clients just because I found girls who kind of vibe the same way as I do, where they're just looking to talk to somebody and having a fun time while getting their lashes done, which makes them feel confident by the end of my shift with them. And then I want to highlight again that work can be great if you enjoy it. However, it can also consume a lot of your high energy if you're in an intense high environment. And if that is happening to you, if you're working a corporate job and you're not loving it, maybe something has to change. Maybe change it to a different position, find a new opportunity, because there are opportunities everywhere where you just have to go out and look for it. And sometimes opportunity doesn't just fall on your lap. It takes a lot of effort just to get an opportunity. Sometimes you could be handing out resumes left and right and still get nowhere, but then sometimes maybe, you know, your friend comes along and be like, hey, I have this position for you, do you want to try it? That's the opportunity that you should be taking, because that's also another path. And then more keynotes. So start small and plan ahead. Always take it one step at a time. I don't know how many times I'm gonna emphasize this, but I'm gonna emphasize it as much as I can in this video so it gets through your brain. And then when you are taking that one step at a time, you're creating a positive habit. And when you are creating this one habit, you can go on to the next habit. And then when you're done with that one habit, or two habits, you can create another one. And then it goes on and on and on till you have a better, ideal, realistic morning routine for you. And you will find the satisfaction to be consistent. Which, my next slide is gonna be consistent. And then being consistent means not rushing it, where you are taking your realistic and then changing everything and then trying to be your ideal kind of realistic view. It's gonna drain you. So make sure you are doing it one step at a time. Maybe try one for a whole month. If you can be consistent, move on to the next. After that consistency, it's adding another habit, and I will repeat that constantly. If you need to restart, absolutely. And then with this, you want to also track your progress. If you want to track your progress, you can write it down on your phone, and then you can put it on a calendar, you can write it on a journal, however you want to track your progress. And I think when you track your progress, you can really see what's actually working for you and what isn't working for you. And then staying flexible. Staying flexible is always the key to a happy, healthy routine. So I hope this video makes sense of what I'm trying to convey to you guys. And if you have any questions, you can always leave a comment below and I'll try to answer it as best as I can. And I want to let you know that fixing the small things in life really makes a huge difference overall throughout your day, because your mind starts to change, your thoughts, and then you become also a better entrepreneur that way, because you're conveying yourself to your business. And then if you're having a positive mindset, it'll reflect on your business, because it really shows on like what your captions are in your post. For example, if you're working on IG or on your stories, on how you are feeling, because that's who you are and that's how you're gonna start displaying yourself and making yourself a brand. And I know that morning routines can be daunting sometimes, and I know I have those inconsistencies where I have to kind of reset. But as long as I take one step at a time, when I do end up resetting, it helps me grow as a person for the next few days or for the next week or so, or even months. And also, if you stay consistent, celebrate the small wins. The small wins always matter. And thanks for tuning in to Small Talk Sundays. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know what struggles you're facing that refrains you from having your ideal morning.